Today at the Bluebird Cafe by Deborah, illustrated by Joan, Rankin. Today at the Bluebird Cafe, it's all you can eat at the Bluebird Cafe. A grasshopper Katie did, cricket buffet with berries and snails and a blue bottle fly, a sip of the lake and a bite of the sky. The loons laugh. No Tweedledee on your windowsill, no sunshiny tune from the top of a hill, no chirp, no coo, no warble or cheep, no bubbly twitter or sweet little peep, the kind of a laugh in the purple of night that makes you sit up and turn on the light, a wail, a chuckle, a shriek at the moon, you pull up your covers, you hope it's a loon. The cardinal. Stoplights and cherries and roses and berries, a ruby, a wagon, a flame from a dragon, crimson vermilion, a sunset Brazilian, the tip of his tail, the cap of his head, Valentine Santa, Clostotally red. The eagle. She rides in the sky like she owns the sun, on a sea of air and light, surfing, skimming, rising high, then sweeping low and tight. She swoops to catch a perfect wave, her wings held straight and true. You lift your chin and hold your breath, and wish you could do it too. The woodpecker. If you think that his life is a picnic, a seesawing day at the park, I ask you just once to consider the aftertaste of bark. Ew! Hummingbird search. If you spy a greedy bird who's the size of your thumb and he's covered all in sequins, and you hear him hum, and he helicopters down to the honeysuckle vine, and he takes a big swig from the columbine, and he flaps his tiny wings like a maniac, would you tell him that I miss him and to please come back? Toucan Tour Guide. I was touring Peru in a silver canoe, and my guide was a toucan named Zeke, a talkative fellow with splashes of yellow and green on his eye-catching beak. The river was cold, the sunlight was gold, we were feeling as free as could be, when something I said made Zeke turn his head and tip of his beak hit a tree. So we stopped for the night at a vine-covered site, and Zeke made a fire by our tent. I tried not to peek at his curious beak, but to tell you the truth, it was bent. Good old Puffin. Good old Puffin holds her ground while bitter breezes swirl around her lonely frozen lookout place and sting her sober, chalky face. When midnight comes, it starts to sleep, and blocks of ice surround her feet. Besides her rests her cocoa cup. Now grab it, Puffin, and drink it up. A vulture's guide to good manners. I never put my elbows on the table, and my face will never show it if my tummy feels unstable. I never tell a story when my beak is full of food, or eat a sprig of broccoli that hasn't been well chewed. I never leave the table until I've been excused. When someone breaks the gravy boat, I never act amused. I never spit my food out, I'm never ever late, but when I come to dinner, I always clean my plate. Hoopo voodoo. You people who poo-poo the hoopoo are taking a horrible chance. He's likely to soothe you with voodoo and stew you with quite a few ants. Mrs. Crow gets dressed. She gives her satin coat a shake and buffs her leather nose. She tries to pull the wrinkles from her charcoal pantyhose. She finds her purse and fills it up with candy corn and straw. She bends her knees and pushes off with a gravel-throated caw. There's a robin in the bathroom. He sings in the shower and bathes in the sink. He lounges and bubbles to help himself think. He leaves little footprints on the top of my soap. I'd like to go in, but I'm giving up hope. He uses my toothbrush to scour his wings. He sloshes and splashes on all of our things. He sprinkles himself in my mother's cologne. He asked me politely to leave him alone. Blue Jay Blues. Blue as a bruise on a swollen knee, ruling the world from a maple tree, squawking out orders, getting his way, hogging the feeder and having his say, raising a fuss, causing a flap, and flying complainer in need of a nap. Mockingbird warning. You never mock a mockingbird. You're crazy if you do, for no one mocks the mockingbird. If someone's mocked, it's you. The Kingfisher. I'm the boss of the marsh, where the winters are harsh, the high-flying king of my home. I don't give a care for the state of my hair, and I won't use a brush or a comb. When I set out to fish for a rib-sticking dish, I dive like a blue-streaking flash. I cut through the air with a natural flare, and all you can see is my splash. Bye-bye, Abyss. Our pointy-beaked abyss stopped by to remind us today is the day she must fly. I miss my big sister, she said when we quizzed her and pointed her wing to the sky. She sniffed the hibiscus and curiously kissed us goodbye, and we tried not to cry. The quail. A certain bird is so refined, so brainy and smart and well-read that every time he thinks a thought, a comma pops out of his head. The great horned owl. He is motionless and silent like a stuck-up king in a play. He puffed up his chest in a fancy vest and a robe of gold and gray. And you really have to admire him, perched in a statue-like stance, with his regal air and his royal stare and his snug-fitting feather pants. The cockatoo. She reminds me of one of the wedding cakes with frosting swoops and coconut flakes, pure vanilla, tall and proud, guaranteed to draw a crowd, and on her head with the bird's eye view, a sugar-coated curly-cue. Bravo, Bobolink! All by himself on a lily-pad stage, a bobolink warbled away. After he finished, a beetle applauded and gave him a clover bouquet. The swan. Fairy-tale bird on a moonlit pond, pulled by stars or a magic wand, through lily pads and wonderlands of castle moats and pixie clans. Missing shoes and midnight chimes, ogres, toads, and nursery rhymes. Lessons learned and broken wings, wishes, wolves, and flower kings. Penguin lullaby. For you, dear sleepy penguin, we'll sing a lullaby of ostriches and emus who sailed around the sky. We'll smooth your icy pillow. We'll keep you safe and dry. You'll dream about tomorrow, and in your dreams, you'll fly. Wow, look, Deborah Riddell is happy as a lark living in Illinois with her husband Brian. This is her first book for children. Joan Rankin is the author and illustrator of several picture books, including Wow, It's Great to Be a Duck, and First Day. Most recently, she illustrated A Frog in the Bog by Karma Wilson. Her awards and honors include South Africa's Don Rita Prize and Katrine Harry's Award for Children's Book Illustration. Miss Rankin lives with her husband and 3 daughters in Johannesburg, South Africa. Wow. So cool, Eli.